Celtic, as I mentioned, stayed with the Polish army all the way through, and this stories of him smoking cigarettes with the Polish army and drinking beer. When they demobbed in England, the 22 supply company that he was part of ended up in Edinburgh, and he was given to Edinburgh Zoo, where he spent the rest of his days. But if you're ever in Edinburgh, just below the castle, there's a gardens below called Princess Street Garden, and there's a big memorial to the Polish soldiers in Scotland and Wojtek the Bear in Princess Street Garden. As for me, I now help people find their Polish history in relation to this. And for those Poles that were exiled to Siberia and were alive in 2004, they could claim this Polish Exiles Cross. And on occasions I've been asked at the Polish Embassy to do short talks, which is a real privilege for me to be able to do that. Sadly, my dad had died by 2004, so he couldn't claim one. But I have to say I did get one, but I got it off the internet, which is sad, but anyway, I've got one. And as I mentioned, I've been to Belarus several times, and on one occasion I was asked to present prizes at a secondary school to an English class, an English language class, and these students all spoke perfect English, though they'd never ever spoken to any Westerner before. It was fantastic. We had a great day with them. I went with my son and my friend who's a musician, and I gave a talk about Manchester and where I live, and he sang Oasis songs and things like that. It was just absolutely fantastic. And I mentioned the Battle of Lake Narok in 1916. Well, I've also written about that, and I was invited over on the 100th anniversary in 2016 to the 100th centenary commemorations, and I was the only non-Russian speaker there. It was incredible. It started off in Minsk, in the capital of Belarus, and then we visited all the various battle sites. It was incredible. However, you know, my family had been lost for over 50 years to us, and finally we got it back, and we were able to visit and communicate with them. And then sadly, now that the Russians have invaded Ukraine, they've lost again to me, which is really sad because I feel like I'll never be able to go. I show this picture of the church, and if you notice the wall behind it, on my last visit I was at my nephew's wedding, and it was roughly at the same place that picture was taken, at the Catholic church in Kobilnik, which is now known as Narok. But I just feel like I'll never be able to go back now and see them again. This is my nephew with his wife. This is my wife, obviously me. The son, the friend who came over, and my sister-in-law as well. So it was a fantastic trip that we did over there. So hopefully that's explained how I ended up being born just down the road here, when my dad came from a poor Polish village, and why he stayed here and how he got here. So quite a convoluted story. And like I say, it's very, very complicated, and it's often very graphic and, well, upsetting, but I tried not to go into any of that. So I hope you enjoyed it. That's the end of my story. Any questions?